Hi everyone, this is Dr. Ernesto from Attaboy Cowboy, and today I'm recording at the Hill of the Cross, or Loma de la Cruz, in Guatemala. Right behind me there's this beautiful volcano I want to share with you. Look how tall it is, look like it's about to burst. But what I want to talk about is sugary snacks, or treats. Let's say sometimes you're having a craving. I have cravings like everybody else. Yesterday I was craving a donut. I hadn't had one in maybe a couple years, and they're selling them everywhere here and they look really good. So what do you do when you want to eat something like that? Well, you should eat it. If you're craving something and you ignore it long enough, if you don't eat it, it's gonna make you binge. So just eat it and get it out of the way. But there's ways to minimize the damage from that meal. Okay, so I'm gonna give you 3 tips. First tip is, let's say you want to eat like some donuts or some cookies, okay? If you go to the market and you buy that stuff, it's going to make your sugar spike big time. And that's not real good for you. It's going to cause inflammation, it's going to cause weight gain, it's going to get you tired. It's a lot of stuff you don't want. However, studies show if you make it at home, if you bake some cookies or bake a pie or something like that, it's a lot more natural. You're going to have less additives, less preservatives, all that stuff. Oftentimes you don't experience those sugar spikes. So you can actually make it a lot healthier if you make it yourself. That's the first tip. Now, let's say you're traveling like I am. I don't really feel like making donuts or baking them or whatever. So I'm gonna buy one in the street here later on. And the way I'm gonna minimize the risk is I'm gonna increase my protein and my fat intake at the same time I have that snack. So an example of that is I might get a spoonful of peanut butter. That's usually what I use. It's pretty easy. If you're craving sugar, you can just eat protein, like nuts or something. That often takes the craving away. But let's just say I want to eat a donut. I feel like eating it. Okay, so I'm going to eat it. But I'm going to eat a spoonful, a tablespoon or 1 or 2 of peanut butter. I'm going to have some pistachios or some almonds. And what that's going to do is that's going to minimize the sugar spike from that donut or that cookie or any other type of processed food you might eat. So that's going to help remediate some of the damage that might happen. Because remember, you're trying to keep your blood sugar stable. If you have the spikes of eating processed food, drinking Coca-Cola, stuff like that, that's what does a lot of damage to you, makes you gain weight. So you want to try to keep it stable. So if you're going to eat something that's sugary or something that's processed, you want to do what my professor at Cal State LA taught me, my nutrition professor, Dr. Tam. He said, quench it. You eat something that's going to minimize it. So you can eat, something healthy with it. Maybe some spinach or have a shake or something like that. But I usually just have some nuts with stuff. That's easy. You can get nuts anywhere, peanuts, whatever you can find. That's going to prevent that sugar spike. Now, tip number 3, this is really cool. Let's say you go to a buffet or, you pig out on a bag of cookies or something like that. Afterwards, you're going to get tired. And oftentimes you're like, oh man, I feel like I got food coma. Right? You feel like you want to go to sleep. You got to resist the urge. Don't go to sleep. Don't lay down. Okay? Right after you eat a meal that you know is not real good for you, you got to get rid of that sugar that's in your blood. So the way you do that is you do some exercise, about 10 minutes. Now, of course, you just ate, you're not going to feel like doing burpees or something like that. I mean, if you can do that, that's cool. That's even better. But most of us don't want to do that. So the simple thing is just go for a walk. If I have a pool out, I might go walk in the water or sit in the bathtub or something, but easiest thing, just go for a walk. If you go for a walk, what happens is your muscles are working. So because they're working, they need energy. So they're going to start soaking up the glucose that's in your blood. And that glucose is going to come from that big meal you just ate. So the benefit of that is when you soak up that sugar into your muscles use it and it gets diverted instead of going to your body and causing fat to be created and getting stored. So that's what you're trying to do. So whenever you eat a meal that you know is not real good, or just in general, in any meal, anytime you eat, it's best to just go do something physical. Right after you eat, you can start cleaning the table, washing dishes. That's exercise. You're on your feet. That's great. That's going to help. Or you can go rake the leaves or wash your car or whatever. Go for a walk. Any kind of physical activity is cool. Then after those 10 minutes, then you can go chill out and watch USC football or something like that. Anything that you like to do afterwards. So thank you for listening. And if you haven't already, please help our channel by subscribing. And from the Loma de la Cruz, Guatemala, this is Dr. Ernesto. Thank you. Goodbye.